Hello, I'm Steve.
And I'm Angie.
And we're still serving camps. So this one is going to be about us being at Michindoh here in Hillsdale, Michigan. And we're going to talk about where we're at and how we got here.
So this is the map of Michindoh, and you'll see that the RV park is in the upper left area. You see all the little prongs for all the different spaces.
And this is from our dash cam as we're coming into the camp, making a right turn here. You'll see the sign in front of us and then the entrance here. If you continue straight on this road, you would go to the lodge, but we're going to be taking a right and heading towards the RV park. This is kind of a nice area that the lake for the camp is on the left hand side, and there's kind of a marshy area in between on the right next to the road, in between the road and this road. As you're heading up this road here, Pine Ridge, which is another area of the camp for bunkhouses, is on your left.
Now the RV park is also known as the Evergreen area.
So
when you pull in, the signs say which areas you're going to.
And this is a two-way. As you notice, there is a truck coming down. So on the left here is the Pine Ridge bunkhouses, and then on the right, as we're coming up, is the parking area for the Ditzman gym. It's one of the two gyms that the camp has. So it's a kind of a very nice laid out camp. That to the right, or to the left, I'm sorry, is another way of getting into the RV park area. But this is probably one of your better options that takes you around into the RV park. Part of the RV park now has modular units in it for the full-time staff, as you can see to the left. And further to the left, there's approximately about 8 to 9 small and double wide RV, or not, modular homes. Then you're starting to see the RV sites on your left. They're in a spur type situation with some on the left in the center and some on the right.
As you'll see, they're very nice spots, all cement padded.
Level, water, sewer, electric.
50 amp and 30 amp.
Yep.
And our spot is right there where the cones are. And we're going to stop and disconnect before we pull into our spot. So here's the map again. We just showed you coming into the camp. Now there's several other areas that you might be interested in. They have TP lodging, which is down in the lower area, and then there's also the shop area, which is where you will report for doing your volunteer work. And then there's the main part of the camp, which includes the lodge, the main lodge, which has motel housing, and then there's a number of other cabins, lots of cabins over in the main area, and the other rec center. So on this episode, we are going to talk about last year's projects. This is the third year that we've been at Michindoh, and last year we arrived earlier than May, and they had previously a big ice storm. And so our first project was to clean up all the tree debris that had fallen from the ice storm.
A couple of the other projects that we had were to a bathroom drain that needed to be fixed. The lower trap had rusted out, and so I replaced it with plastic piping.
Then we were asked to paint all the doors in the main rec center. Now that's a lot of doors because there were 42 different doors in the rec center. And the hard part about that was that we had to do it when people weren't around. And then there's also a picture of Steve painting the trim board in the gym, which is also in the rec center.
Another one was that for the summer of last year, they used a dunk tank for one of the activities, and so I had to go through and make sure that it hopefully didn't leak and that everything worked well with it. The other thing in their snack shack down by the lake, they had an ice machine that periodically each year needed to be cleaned in order to be fixed. So I went ahead and decalcified the working units inside the pump and everything for it to be working. Oh yeah, also on the outside was a hose bib on the outside faucet that had froze during the winter, and so it needed to be replaced. So there's pictures of the old with the new.
And the RV pavilion, which is close to the RV park, totally needed to be redone. It got a new roof. The 4x4 beams, the Y-shaped part of the beams were replaced because of carpenter bees that had drilled in and nested in those beams. And then after that, I had to repaint the whole pavilion.
Part of something that we had not learned up until that year was not only do the carpenter bees bore in and leave their larvae inside for their next hatchings, but after they do that, then woodpeckers come along and they follow that line and peck away at the wood until they get to each egg larva. And so that's where the biggest damage is. Otherwise you'd have just little holes, sort of thing. So that is what we have done last year and in the past. And so we're going to take and have another episode about what we are doing this year.
So like us, subscribe, and share us with your friends. And we'll see you next time for the next part of Michindoh.